There, meteorologist Robert Speta. An absolute busy day out here in the Western Pacific. We have three named storm systems. The last time we had three storms at the same time, we have to go back to last year, October of 2021. So it's been less than a year, kind of showing that, it's not unheard of to have a setup like this, but it's not terribly common either. About once a year we'll get it. Right now we do have three storms, so Muifa, Namadol, and Merbok out here almost towards the international date line. They're all well spaced apart, so not really stealing energy from each other either, allowing them to gain a little bit of strength. But Muifa pulling off there towards the north, Namadol. And also I do want to mention Merbok. Really not a problem for anybody unless you're out there in the Aleutian Islands or you are on a ship at sea in the North Pacific. Let's first talk about Muifa here, because this storm now pulling away from the southern Japanese islands, and boy, it's been bringing some nasty weather. Prolonged weather, that's been the issue. We're looking at tropical storm or even typhoon strength conditions for several days. It did result in some damage, a lot of superficial damage, down trees, stuff like that, but also record-breaking rain totals for these islands. It's just because of the persistency of this storm. It sat there for an extended period of time, and I don't care how good your drainage is, you're going to see some flooding with that. Now our storm's pulling off towards the north. It is going to be moving right near Shanghai at the Yangtze River Basin. Right there, look at that. They could be looking at some typhoon strength conditions as it kicks overhead and dries out in eastern China. They need the rain. Problem is when you get a typhoon, that does obviously cause problems. All right, let's talk about Namadol now. This one, and I'm sorry, I focus on certain areas. I know Shanghai has a very large population, but I also know my analytics, and I know they're behind the Great Cyber Wall there, so they don't get a lot of my information. They don't get anything on Facebook, and they don't really see much of anything on YouTube. So I concentrate more on what's happening out here in the Philippines, as well as the southern Japanese islands, where I know a lot of you are tuning in from to watch what's going on with Namadol here. And this storm right now, barely a tropical storm, 65-kilometer-per-hour winds, pressure at 996 hectopascals. Big thing with it, look how wide it is. It's tapping in moisture all the way across the Philippines, the West Sea there, which is going to be still creating that river of moisture for those of you in Visayas. I mean, boy, you got more showers there in your forecast inadvertently from this storm. It is intensifying as we go ahead here. This is 3 a.m. on Friday. You got 95-kilometer-per-hour winds. 3 a.m. on Saturday up to 110, and 3 a.m. Sunday morning passing over the southern Japanese islands with winds about 110, maybe even near typhoon strength of 120 kilometers per hour. Notice though where our storm is and where the model is putting it. What we have been seeing over the last few runs, and this is a fancy word that JTWC actually uses in their discussion, a bifurcation, meaning that, the model consensus is splitting. Some of it is moving off towards the north, some of it is shifting further towards the west, just between our high pressure ridge towards the south, between Muifa kind of pulling it along, and a high pressure ridge just off of southeastern areas of Honshu as well. So beyond 72 hours, beyond the next 3 days, there is a level of uncertainty here with the forecast. I want you to just make sure you keep that in mind, make sure you pay attention to the cone of air with this storm system, because it very well could shift. And for those in Okinawa, I'm not sitting here saying run to the commissary, run and get prepared, but be ready at least for tropical storm strength conditions at the very least. I mean, just take a look at this. I'm bringing this back out of retirement. I used it a lot last year. Our trampoline warning, because the last storm, Hinamore specifically, I saw several pictures of trampolines on the military bases. Always. This time the winds will be coming in from the north. It sets up the way it does look like. And currently, according to JMA, this is not me making this number up. JMA says gusts could be as high as 40 to 60 miles per hour. They actually say about 30 to 40 meters per second, but that's roughly 40 to 60 mile per hour wind gust here. So, yeah, that's sufficient enough to toss things around. Actually, about 20, 30 meters per second. Sufficient enough to toss things around here, especially a trampoline. I say it every time. Man, those things get tossed in every single storm. One of these days, they're going to wise up out there. I know a lot of people are responsible, but It's those bad apples that just don't tie stuff down. Anyways, let's take a look at the hour-by-hour futurecast. Here we go, Saturday over towards Sunday. This is Sunday at 2 a.m., passing just north of Okinawa Honto, right around the Amami Islands. But like I said, the models have been split. So this is a particular guidance ECMWF is showing right now. Earlier, yesterday, it was up here. Some of the ensembles pull it further south. It's kind of smack right in the middle in this particular guidance. And then look at the rain field there in red, also containing those outer rain bands. I mean, a storm watch, I wouldn't be surprised at the very least is issued for military personnel out there, but also just remember what your T-cores are and what they mean for you. Not to mention, you know, out ahead of this storm, Thursday and the Friday, boy, you're going to see some big waves kick up here along your eastern seaboards. If you are a surfer, good long period swells. Watch out for those rip currents. Very well could be dangerous as well. Now, you know, speaking of the ocean really quick, this is one thing I want to leave you on. Look at the sea surface temperatures here off towards East China Sea. You have down here towards the Philippine Sea, a lot of below average. That's because we've had these back-to-back storms, which have caused a lot of upwelling, stirring the ocean. So right now, actually, Muifa is running over some of these cooler sea surface temperatures, causing it to weaken. But we're not quite seeing that east of Okinawa, which means still above average sea surface temperatures, meaning that you still got a lot of fuel for the storm system to strengthen. Anyways, that's all for today. If you like these updates, let me know. Obviously, though, if you watched all the way through, you probably do. What I mean is hit the like and subscribe button. Also, check out our Patreon. I say it in every single update. If you watched all the way to the end, hopefully you found this useful. You can just toss $2 in my direction. It helps pay for lighting, graphics, everything, because this is TV studio level graphics, you know, and it costs a little bit of money. Not to mention the time that it takes to put everything together. So, of course, I like helping you guys out. Never put it behind a paywall, but yeah, it does help. I feel guilty sometimes asking about because, you know, this is more or less a hobby, but it does cost a little money. Anyways, regardless, with that said, stay safe out there. As always, thanks for watching.